Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a little breastfeeding update. Just to tell you how it's going and what's happening, and there's definitely some things going on with breastfeeding that I think more people need to be aware of. So here I am with a little breastfeeding update. When Zidane was born, he latched pretty much instantly and seemed to be getting what he was needing and gaining well. Well, in the hospital, babies lose because they're not getting constant food, they're just getting colostrum at first. So he did lose 10 ounces, but he was back almost up to his birth weight. He was 3 ounces shy at 1 week, but by 2 weeks he had already well surpassed his birth weight, so he's definitely getting what he needed, and he is still continuing to gain quite rapidly, actually, so he's eating fine. In the hospital, I did have a lot of pain with nursing, and at first that can be normal. It's your nipples aren't used to that kind of friction and sucking and constant pulling and whatever, so I didn't think anything of it at the time. Whatever, normal. It did go away pretty much. To this day, Z eats good. I think my supply is pretty good. I don't really know how much he should be getting right now. He's still gaining, so that's really what matters. Something that I did notice throughout our time of breastfeeding is that he doesn't latch perfectly. I think I've said this in the last update I did, that he just doesn't latch quite right. When he was 3 or 3.5 weeks old, I had a lactation consultation with my lactation consultant, Angie. She's amazing. She's awesome. I love her. She actually taught me dance when I was in elementary school and early middle school, so it's kind of weird now. But she's awesome. She's amazing. And I went in to see her because he was having, he kept choking and gagging and not really breathing when he was nursing. So I was just kind of wanting to see what she thought. And I went in, and I was nursing him, and he did it in front of her. He was choking, kind of sputtering, and I had to sit him up, pat his back, and I'm kind of breathing again. And she's like, yep, that is definitely in regards to your flow. You have a really fast flow. Because I told her also that he doesn't nurse for very long, and he falls asleep. So it was kind of like, yeah, that's my flow. It'll even out eventually. Yada yada yada. So that was okay. And then she did notice that my nipples were cracked and red and kind of raw looking. So she's like, you might have some kind of thrush going back and forth, or yeast or something. So she looked in his mouth, and he had white on his tongue, which is deduced now to just a milky tongue. But he did have a few little spots of white, on his gums. So she just said, if it gets worse, get him checked out. If not, keep an eye on it. And I had a clinic appointment for him for just a few days later, so I was like, it's not a big deal, and just kind of bring it up at that appointment. And so I did, and it wasn't thrush. I think it was just kind of milk that was sitting there, a little spit up curd, whatever. If you've seen spit up, you know what I'm talking about. That was just kind of stuck in his gums, and that was that. And my nipples were painful, and so they really just deduced that to thrush. But it wasn't, so it was just kind of weird. And that was on January 15th, the lactation consult. So today's February 8th, so last week around the 2nd, 3rd, whatever, I really started kind of researching things more, really trying to figure out what I could do to get him to latch better and see if I could get my nipple pain to go down and the redness, and they're bumpy and cracked looking and they just don't look very pleasant. And also, Z has blisters on his lips. They developed when he was about 2 weeks old. That's when I really noticed. I thought it was just chapped lips. You know, it's middle of winter. It's really dry. It could have been anything doing with the dry winter weather. That was really concerning because after my 2-week appointment with him, she's like, you put Aquaphor on them, blah, 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 do this, do that. And I was like, okay, and they still were not getting better. So I tried putting regular chapstick and they still hadn't gotten better. And I'll insert a picture of them here. Voila. So his lips were still really bad. They still are to this day. I really wanted that. That was like my main concern because that really just can't feel good. So I started doing a lot of research. I came across an article on lip tie and tongue tie. What this is a lip tie is where the piece of skin that connects your lip to your gums, that looks really weird, I'm sorry, but is like kind of extra long and thick, and I'll insert a picture of his right here so you can see it. He has a definite lip tie, and a lip tie makes so much sense for all the things that are going on with him. The kind of poor latch, the choking and gagging, and the gassiness, and the kind of reflux that he's been having. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is totally what he has. So I looked in his mouth, I checked that little piece, and definitely for sure that is what he has. I'm still unsure if he's got a tongue tie. Tongue tie is where the skin underneath the tongue, right there, is extra big and it holds the tongue down. I don't know if he has really a tongue tie. It doesn't look like it from what I can see, but he won't really let me get in there very good to look yet. So I did ask my lactation consultant, like, if she thinks this is what could be causing a bunch of our issues, and she's like, you know, that definitely very well could be. I sent her a picture and she said it didn't look that severe, but looks can be deceiving just from a picture. So she recommended a pediatric dentist office for me, and it's about 2 hours away from my home, but that's totally fine. And they specialize in the laser removal of this piece of skin. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Yeah. But that day I made an appointment, and in 2 days from now, so today's February 8th, on the 10th we have an appointment for a consultation, and then the laser removal of his at least lip tie. Yes, I'm very excited to get this done. I'm not excited for the process and everything, but a lip tie can it can cause the gassiness, the reflux kind of issues, the bad latch, because that piece of skin holds his lip down. So instead of doing the proper latch like this around the breast, his upper lip kind of like goes in. So when he's eating, it goes like that when he's eating, which is why he's got such bad blisters on his lips, because of the friction. So hopefully those go away and we can improve the latch. I'm hoping he's young enough where he can adjust. It's going to be a long process, I'm sure. It's going to be so worth it. It's better to get it done now and taken care of, because it can cause a gap in between the two front teeth, and it can cause speech problems, and it just can cause extra cavities and all this other stuff. So I'm so thrilled that I had the audacity to research and know that something wasn't quite right, because this is a serious issue. I mean, it can really jeopardize breastfeeding, which is my main cause for concern. I don't want my child to have formula. I don't want to bottle feed all the time. He does have a bottle on a rare occasion, just to kind of have him accustomed to it in case I have to leave or if I need a break, someone can give him a bottle. I'm excited for the consultation to have it done and over with. I'm not excited for the exact process of it happening. Yeah, poor kid. But it's going to be so worth it in the end, and I will do an update after the appointment. It'll probably be a week after, just so he can get healed and I can give you a proper update, and so we have some time to adjust and I can tell you if it's affecting breastfeeding in a more positive way, because it should, I hope. It's if he'll adjust to it, that is. But I just wanted to say all of this because if someone is struggling with breastfeeding and it doesn't look like your child is latching properly, don't assume it's just your kid has a poor latch and it's just awful. And if you're in pain, definitely look in your kid's mouth. It takes 1 second to see if they have a lip tie. Research pictures, images, whatever, and just make sure that everything's all good, because breastfeeding is wonderful and you don't really want to lose that because, well, formula's expensive. Formula's got junk in it, you know. Breast is best. So I will update you guys later. Bye.